卡的身份。叫你拿给珊娜，拜托他帮你给我。
Now, for the break, I was just beginning to tell you about this model here. System, culture of people, and a product. Tools to help you. Now, it says culture, life, and values here. Values is what we think is important, what we value. We're prepared to pay or work very hard for the things that we think are important. That's why, for example, earlier I was talking about diversity. Diversity in Taiwan is a huge value that we have. We think is very important. Something that you young people need to be very aware of is that Taiwan is the most diverse country in Asia. Maybe in the world at the moment. The freedom of expression, the opportunity to do new things is so amazing in Taiwan. You can ask any foreigner. Most of you didn't travel. If you did travel, you would know that this is a value of such immense importance that it is probably the treasure of Taiwan at the moment. So this kind of thing is here. It says philosophy and principles. Philosophy is the way we think. Principles is what we think is important. Here, life. It says prosperity here. Planet plus profit. It means that we have our economy and our nature have to be in balance. This is about food, for example, health, old age. It all depends on our relationship and the way that we live our lives. And this is about people and their purpose, the smaller things that we do. Here is about process and people, product and process, people and product. This is about, for example, whether we find something attractive. It's not very important, but it's because function, efficiency, and effect are far more important. Desirability is the least important thing. We can see this in very poor countries. It doesn't matter whether something is beautiful or not. If you can get it and it can help you, that is the most important thing. If you don't have food, it doesn't matter if it's bad food or good food. It's food. So this is the very, very bottom level. Now, the reason I am showing you this is because I want you to understand it from the point of view of your theme, of your subject, in your team. If we said that this is cars, this is roads, and this is cars, and these are parts of cars, lights, seats, electric system, and so on. And then we have components, tiny parts of these systems. These are all parts of the production. This can be produced. But this is the way that we think, what the values that we have, the way that we can change people's lives. So, this is the whole way that our society works. This is how the car works. And the system is what is in between. I want to give you an example of this, and this is the question, as Yang Xiaojie was saying just earlier, the question of IBM and Lenovo. You remember a few years ago, IBM sold their PC business to Lenovo. And people said, why did they do that? It's very simple. Until then, a couple of years before, a computer, a PC, was a system. Because you had an ICU, a keyboard, a mouse, and a monitor, and it can function as a word processor, maybe to build some engineering models. It is by itself a system which helps people to do something. Then what happened? We got the internet. The internet became the system, and the computer became the subsystem. There's no money to be made in a subsystem. There's the money is in the flow in the system, like the flow of traffic on the roads. So, it doesn't matter who made the computer, the name on the computer, as long as it can access the internet. That's why IBM sold. Their actual product, which as we were talking about, the end, back, the front end. The front end that you see is only the back end of the system. You understand? So, if you want to change something, either you have to change people's way of thinking and living, or you have to change the system. But if you change down here, it's unlikely to change anything here. So this is where the money is made. Just as we were talking about 7-Eleven is a logistics system, or a hot wash shop is a cooking food system, it's a factory. The actual food, the components inside the food, the actual chairs or tables is a very small part of a much, much bigger system. There's another example, is Siemens and BenQ. Do you remember when BenQ, everybody in Taiwan was so proud that BenQ could buy the mobile phones from Siemens? And Siemens knew there's no money to be made in mobile phones because it's not a smartphone, it's accessing the internet. It's accessing all the apps and the services which are on the internet and through the internet. So whether you have a Samsung, a BenQ, Siemens, or an iPhone, it's the system of communication is much more important. So what I want you to do when you're thinking about your projects is to think about the culture, the life, and the values before you think of this, because this is just a tool to help you to access the system. You understand? One of the things that is very difficult for many people to divide is a product, service, and experience. Just think of a restaurant. Go into the restaurant, the service, the girl or man who says hello to you is not very good at his or her job, and they just take you to your table and say, what do you want? You think the service sucks, yeah? But the restaurant looks very beautiful. Then the food comes. The food is really not very good. It doesn't matter how good the experience, what you see, how good it was. If the level underneath, the service and the product are no good, then it has been a bad experience. So what we do a lot of the times, we try to I told you, the special part. We all focus on the special part, and we forget about the standard part and the smarter part. When people are looking at the front end, they're always looking at the special part, the part that you're supposed to notice. And then they forget to look at the smarter part and the standard part. So when you go back and you think about your project, try to think what makes the system work. It's all the standard parts. What makes the internet work? It's all the standard computers and the standard mobile phones and all the standard ways of getting there, because it has to be standard, otherwise they can't communicate. So you know that on the internet, and all the machines that access the internet, it must be standard, otherwise they can't go to the internet and they can't exchange information. That's what you have to understand first, and then you have to look at opportunities where there's a gap between what these can do, what the system, the services that the system gives you, and the life that people would like to have. So we're back to the original slide. Do you remember when I said, dream comes first? You have to have a vision of something better, and then you improve the products and the system to reach a better life. Do you understand? In order to change the life, you have to improve these things. You have to have a vision, a dream about something better before you start. to show you a last slide, and then I will come round to each group, each team, and try and help you to formulate your concept. Because concept is your guide, those are called guiding. No, no, that's structure, yeah? Concept. No, what is concept? This is guiding. Before you have a concept, you cannot design your service or your product or your experience. The concept is the dream that you want to share of something better with others. You know? Okay. First part. Transformations is changing people's lives. You see, in the books, like Drucker and Peter Drucker, do you know that book? He talks about experience economy, services, products. The next thing that people will be talking about is transformations, changing people's lives. Transformation, change. When we live in a country where repeating things is the way to success, you have to think differently, because this is about changing things. The key point of entrepreneurship is changing things. So you really have to change your idea of what is success. If you are a successful student, you repeat. If you want to be a successful business person, you have to change. This is a key point. You have to stop sitting there and looking for easy answers to exams, to pass exams and repeat what has been people are telling you. You have to learn to think for yourself and change things. So, empower. It means help people to change their lives. This is a very, very important word in Europe and America for the last 10 years. Empowerment. It's what you need in Taiwan, young people. Empowerment. The feeling that you can change your life, that you can change your country, that you can change your future. It's not all decided by other people, and this is decided by the government or by China, excuse me. Engage means connect people, get people involved, get them excited, get them moving, engage people. Enable, help them to do what they need to do. Enable. And execute excellence. It means do it very well. Not high how, do it very well, otherwise you will have no success, because everybody can do a little bit smarter, or a little bit more special, or a little bit more less than. You have to do it very well. So think better, do better. Oh, maybe I have to switch on. Too complicated. Thank you very much. Okay. Behave better. Inclusive human value means everybody has to be part of the future. Look better? Sure. It's nice for things to be attractive. Work better. Technical innovation. Make better. Sustainable. Long-term improvement for business. A better life in a better world. It should be in your mind every time you start a project. Is this going to make a better life in a better world? Because that means it's going to really help people to live a better life and empower them and to make a difference. Your entrepreneurship, your studies, your life should make a difference. The fact that you are here should make a difference to Taiwan, to your lives, to your families, whatever. Make a difference is the key. So, think new, creativity. You have to understand better. Think different, that's originality, more imagination. Think better, deeper knowledge, that's innovation. Make a difference, that's believe human values come first. Human values is much more important than economic values. If you can make people's lives better, they will give you money for it when you can become rich. So care more about people, care more about the planet, care more about life. That maybe is what is meant by Taiwan soft values. Taiwan soft values, what's that? Do you know Chinese? Okay, Taiwan soft values. We have plenty of technology here. What we're lacking is the soft values. And that's what you have to think about first. People, not products. 好，谢谢。So, I suggest that you go back to your team and you think carefully of what is the actual system and what is the super system of your team. How does it actually work? It's not the products in the system, it's how do people use the system and how does the system work. Okay? I will come around and try and help you to lift up your project so you can have a concept so you can continue this course and have a good result at the end. 可以吗？好 ，OK。
Did she tell you you cannot retreat from this code anymore from today? Yes. Withdraw. 不能再退选了哦，今天。
What was your name?